Now there is bio break of 10 minutes. After that, there will be next section. Bhumika ma'am,
on
your voice is breaking up.
Okay. Okay. Am I audible?
No, ma'am. Please change your position or room. मैं बोल नहीं पाऊँ.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. कैसे करेंगे मैम? Bhumika ma'am, you are not audible, ma'am.
Is it audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. However, there is some problem, but it is okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Yes. Very good morning to on behalf of FDP team. I would like to welcome you in the last session of AICT Training and Learning Academy 5 days online faculty development program on recent trends in green technology for sustainable development. Session is on disciplinary approach and related applications. Our today's speaker is Dr. Anu Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, University College of Engineering and Technology, and organizer of this program. Ma'am has 20 years of teaching and research experience. Ma'am has shown many administrative responsibilities like head Department of Trade, member of LNICL, social responsibilities, human welfare education, human and committees like IST Chemistry Institute, Indian Institute, Society of Chemists and Biologists, and received best special and formal award in State and Republic Day celebration. Which marked experience, and we would be glad to listen from you. Now, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, am I audible, ma'am? Gayatri ma'am, yeah, Bhumika ma'am, please tell me, am I audible?
Audible.
Okay.
Audible, ma'am. Audible. You are audible.
Okay, ma'am. And my screen is visible? Gayatri ma'am, my screen is visible?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you,
Visible.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Bhumika ma'am. Good morning, one and all present here. I'm the beginner in the research field, and I will try my best to describe all the aspects of biomaterial in my presentation. My presentation is on biomaterial, multidisciplinary approach and related application. In the previous lecture, Anshu ma'am told us about the research work, renowned research work of their lab. We are the beginner, so we are only in the superficial work stage, and ma'am motivates us to do work in the field of research or characterization or synthesis of the material. Thank you, Anshu ma'am, if you are with us. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Dr. Anu.
Ji, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. I have divided my presentation into three parts. First one is what is biomaterial? Second one is why they are important or what are the need of these material in the present scenario. And third one is their type or classification and different application or uses in various fields. First, what is biomaterial? The word biomaterial means biology and material, means they are related to the living organism. A biomaterial is the material that comprise whole or part of a living structure or biomedical devices which performs, augments, or replace a natural function. Means they are used for curing the disease of living organism and also for making the medical devices. They are used for the reparation and reconstruction of musculoskeletal systems and other medical devices. Okay. Thanks. I'm adjusting my slide. Please wait for a while. Okay. 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 These are biodegradable in nature, means they are, and also they are bioreabsorbable. It means they eliminate gradually from the body after fulfilling their function. Means they are not harmful to our body. They can be created by using metals, ceramics, polymer, glasses, even living cell and tissues. Yani they are prepared by using many variety of substances which are available in our lab or in our nature. A designed biomaterial should serve its purpose in the environment of the living body without affecting other bodily organs. Means they do not affect the other part of the body. If we are using for the dental implant, so they do not affect the other part of mouth or other part of organ of the body. This picture shows the material which are used for making synthetic biomaterial and the other application in which they are used. For example, they are used in drug delivery, skin cartilage sutures, ocular implants, bone replacements, by making biosensor, and many more. They improves the quality of life. On increasing number of people each year with increasing demands, they are synthesizing rapidly. The field of biomaterial is multidisciplinary, means these are related to many branch of science. For example, they are related to chemistry, means knowledge of chemistry, organic chemistry is essential for making for synthesizing biomaterial. Similarly, they are related to material science, molecular biology, physics, many physical property, chemical property, mechanical properties are also play an important role for their application of the biomaterial. Similarly, they are used in medical science, so they are also correlated with the medical science. Now, the second part of my presentation, the history and the importance of the biomaterial. If we take a look, the history, we find that they are being used from ancient time. For example, the introduction of non-biological materials are noted far back in history. For example, dental implants were devised as implant and used early in the history. The Mayan people fashioned naked teeth from seashell in roughly 600 AD, achieved what we now refer as biointegration or biomaterial integration or bone integration. Similarly, an iron dental implant is a corpus dated in 200 AD was found in Europe. Metallic sutures means they are used in the stitching of different body parts, muscles or skin. The metallic sutures are first mentioned in the early Greek literature. Galen described ligatures of gold mine. Similarly, other research was also carried out in this field. In 18th century, the French psychologist Lee Gallus expressed his idea that organ could be kept alive by pumping blood through them. Means they are using for pumping the blood in an organism. A number of experiments on organ perfusion with pumps were performed in 18th century. Similarly, in 19th century, in 1937, polymethyl methacrylate introduced in the dentistry. And similarly, Robb suggested Dacron fabrics, which is used to fabricate the arterial prosthetic. In 1960, PMMA and stainless steel are used for hip replacements. Blood vessel replacements were tried in 1950s and heart valve replacement and cemented joint replacements in the 1960s. It means they are very important in medical field, in medical science, or making many medical devices and cellular biology. They are very important in the field of diagnostic, for example, gene array for making biosensor, for making medical equipment such as blood bags, surgical tools, and for therapeutic medicine, for example, medical plants and making devices, and for tissue engineering, skin and cartilage, and many more. Similarly, they are used in the body skeletal system such as joint replacement, bone fractures and defects, artificial tendons and ligaments, etc. Nowadays, there is an ever-increasing search on novel biomaterial as the material requirement for the complex biomedical devices increases with time. What is the importance of biomaterial? We know that human tissues and organs sometimes fail to perform their function due to genetic defects, illness, injury, age, trauma, or degeneration. These injuries can be cured by using drugs. However, some cannot be repaired or cured by using drugs. So there is a requirement of surgical repair, but sometimes it also fails. So in the broadest sense, the unique material other than drug or combination of material that are primarily expected to be used inside a living organism to repair augment, and replace any tissue. And these are the biomaterial which are capable to perform such type of function. Due to this reason, biomaterial are very interesting field in the research area because they replace many drugs, many surgical repair operation, they avoid many surgical operations, etc. There is a growing demand for novel biomaterial for the replacement and repairment of soft and hard tissue, such as bones, cartilage, blood vessels, decaying teeth, etc. The main aim of biomaterial research is to find the appropriate combination of chemical and physical properties matched with the tissue replaced in the host. Yani, if the physical and chemical properties are matched with the organ for which it is implanted, then they are very important. This table shows the use of biomaterial in different organ for making implants for different organ. For example, in heart, they are used for making pacemakers, artificial valves, artificial heart. Similarly, for eye, they are used for making contact lens, artificial inocular lenses. Similarly, for muscles, they are used for sutures. And similarly, for kidney, they are used for making dialyzing machines. And many more. This picture shows the different biomaterial which are used for implanting in our body, in a body of living organisms. This picture also shows the use or application of the biomaterial in the various part of our body. Now, it is the third part of my presentation, that is their types and their uses. So I start with the classification of biomaterial. When a synthetic biomaterial or any other material is injected to in our body or implanted to in our body, tissue react with the implant in variety of ways. And it depends on the what type of material is used for implantation. Thus, it is very important to know the nature of synthetic material or biomaterial which have been to be planted in our body or in any other living organism. On the basis of tissue response, they are of three types, that is bioinert, bioactive, and bioresorbable. Bioinert material. These are the material that once placed in the human body has minimum interaction with its surroundings. Bioinert means they are inert in nature. They do not show any reaction or side effects when they implant in our body. They maintain their physical and mechanical properties while in the host and are resistant to corrosion and wear. They have good strength and reasonable fractures toughness. Stainless steel, titanium, alumina, partially stabilized zirconia, ultra-high molecular weight polythene are the example of bioinert biomaterial. Yani they are inert to our body and they have no side effects. Second one is bioactive material. The synthetic material and biomaterial, when placed within the human body, interact with the surrounding bone and in some cases even soft tissue. And they are active, so they interact little bit with the different part of our body or the part where they are being implanted. A common characteristics of bioactive glass is a time-dependent and kinetic modification of the surface that occurs upon the implantation. They are used in the orthopedic and dental implant coating, facial reconstruction, component and bone graft substitute material. Synthetic hydroxyapatite, glass ceramic, and bioglass are the example of this category. The third one is bioresorbable biomaterial. Bioresorbable materials are the material on placement within the human body start to dissolve or be resorbed and slowly replaced by advancing tissues such as bones. Tricalcium phosphate, polylactic polyglycolic acid copolymer, calcium oxide, calcium carbonate, and the gypsum are the common example of these material. Means these material are starts to dissolve in our body when they implant. However, they are brittle in nature, so they cannot be used for making load-bearing implants. Means they are not used for making implant in the hip joint or knee joints. They are not used for this purpose because they are brittle in nature. Now, another classification of the biomaterial is on the basis of application in the medical field. On the basis of these are of 4 types. Metallic biomaterials, polymeric biomaterials, ceramic and glass biomaterials, and composite biomaterials. Metallic biomaterials. The metallic biomaterial is the most important engineering material. They are used because they have good thermal conductivity, mechanical property, and physical property. They are most widely used load-bearing implants. They are not brittle in nature and good physical and mechanical property. So they are used for making load-bearing implants, orthopedic surgeries, etc. Similarly, as we know that they have known localized electrons. So many properties of metals are directly attributed to these electrons. And they are good conductor. As we know that the metal are good conductor of electricity and heat. They are not transparent to visible light. So their polished metal surface has a lustrous appearance. The metal and alloys can be divided into 2 basic groups. They are ferrous and non-ferrous. Ferrous metals are based on iron. They include steel and cast iron. Means steel or cast iron is used for making medical devices or making implants in the field of medical science. The non-ferrous metal includes the pure metal or alloy. For example, aluminium, nickel, copper, chromium, cobalt, titanium, nickel, chromium alloy, cobalt, chromium alloy, iron, chromium alloy. They are used in different manner. They are biocompatible, means they involve the acceptance of artificial implant by the surrounding tissue and by the body as a whole. And they are being used for from ancient times. Even they do not irritate the surroundings and do not incite an excessive inflammation, do not stimulate allergy, and they do not cause allergy, or they do not reduce immunity of our body, and they do not cause cancer. Means these are not carcinogenic in nature. Metallic biomaterials are not carcinogenic. Type of metal used in biomedical depends on the specific implants application. For example, 316, it is the category of a metallic biomaterial. The 316L type of stainless steel is the most used alloy in the implant division, ranging from cardiovascular to otorhinology. For neck surgery, for head surgery, for heart surgery, they are being used. When the implant requires higher wear resistance, such as artificial joint, cobalt, chromium, molybdenum alloy is the best. Means cobalt, chromium, molybdenum alloy is used for making artificial joints. In this table, we see the different metallic biomaterial which are used for different purpose or for making different implants. For example, in cardiovascular, they are used for making stent, artificial valve, and the biomaterial which are used, metallic biomaterial which is used for making these stents and artificial valve are 316L stainless steel, alloy of cobalt, chromium, and molybdenum, pure titanium or alloy of titanium. Similarly, in orthopedic area, for making bone fixation, plates, screws, pins, artificial joints, So stainless steel, 316 stainless steel, pure titanium, and some of these alloys are used for making these devices or these implants. Similarly, in the dentistry, orthodontic wire filling, they are used in this field also. Stainless steel, alloy of cobalt chromium, titanium nickel alloy, titanium molybdenum alloy, even pure gold is also used for making implants in this field. And silver tin alloy. Craniofacial, in the field of craniofacial, they are used for making plates and screws. And the examples of metallic biomaterial which are used in this field are 316 LSS, cobalt chromium molybdenum alloy, pure titanium, and the titanium alloy. And similarly, in otorhinology, for making artificial eardrum, 316 LSS is used. I mean, from this table, it has been found that 316 L stainless steel metallic biomaterial is widely used, in various implantation of in various organ in our body or in any other living organism. This picture shows the different metallic biomaterial or steel biomaterial for making different implants. For example, this is the dental implant, shoulder implant, knee implant. This is some screws, fracture fixation for making mesh. This is also important. They are used for making mesh, artificial skull. Similarly, plates and screw, elbow joints, and many. So they are used for making. It is very important example of metallic biomaterial, and it is used in for different purposes. What is 316L stainless steel? It is considered one of the attractive metallic material or biomaterial for biomedical application because it has good mechanical property, it is biocompatible, and it is corrosion resistance. As we know, our body consists more than 70% of water. So it is corrosion resistance also. Cobalt alloy. Cobalt chromium alloy are the most commonly used for making artificial joint, including knee, hip joints, due to high wear resistance. Yani, they are widely used for making heavy, in the field of heavy implantation. And these are also biocompatible. And they are also have high corrosion resistance. They are widely used in the manufacturing of stents and other surgical implants due to excellent bioincompatibility with the blood and soft tissue. They do not react with, as we said, these are the bio-inert material. In previous slide, I've shown that these metallic biomaterials are bio-inert in nature. So they do not react with blood and soft tissue also. They have a very high specific strength and commonly used in making gas turbines, dental implants, and orthopedic implants. This is the example of cobalt chromium alloys, which are used for making dental implants. This is our natural teeth, and this is the cobalt chromium alloy. The other example of cobalt chromium alloys are the hip stem. This is the hip stem. It is made up of cobalt chromium alloy, and it is used for making hip implant. Similarly, this is hip joint. The cup of this hip stem. It is the cup of this hip stem. Third one is the metal and metal articular joints. These are used for making articular joints. These are used for making heart valve. It is also cobalt chromium alloy. And these are the stents, and it is also made up of cobalt chromium alloy. And there is various, they are used in for making various implants. Other material, metallic biomaterial is titanium alloys. These metallic biomaterials are used in artificial hip joints, artificial knee joints, bone plates, screws, traction fixation, cardiac valve prosthesis, and making pacemaker and even artificial hearts. few pictures is shown in this slide. These are the screw which are used for in different purpose in medical science, and these are made up of titanium alloy. This is dental implants. In previous slide, I have shown that cobalt chromium alloy is used. Titanium alloy can also be used for making dental implants. Silver fillings. This is the example of metallic biomaterial. Silver fillings are also known as dental amalgam. They are used to fill the cavities caused by tooth decay. This is the silver filling, which is used in the cavity filling. And gold is also a good metallic biomaterial. However, it is expensive. The gold and gold alloys are useful in metallic, are the useful metallic biomaterial because they are stable, corrosion resistance, and they are used in odontotherapy. They are used in odontotherapy. This table shows the composition of metallic biomaterial which are being used for making different implants, and there are some mechanical properties. For example, stainless steel. In a stainless steel, the composition is shown in this table. Their yield strength, tensile strength, and elongation properties are shown in this table. Similarly, for cobalt chromium alloy and other alloys is shown in this table. From this table, it has been found they have good yield strength, good tensile strength, and good elongation. When they implant into the organ, they elongate and fit into that part. Their tensile strength is also good. Their yield strength is also good. So they are used means they are biocompatible. The next class is the polymeric biomaterial. In previous slides, we have discussed about the metallic biomaterial, which are made up of different metal and alloys. In this slide, I am describing the polymeric biomaterial. Polymer is the common class. We are familiar with the polymers. These are the insulator, as we know that these are used as an insulator. But these are also used for making biomaterial. For example, polymers are used in the medicine as biomaterial. They are used for facial prosthesis, tracheal tubes, kidney, liver part, heart component, dentures to hip and knee joints. As we know that these are natural and synthetic. Natural polymers are used as biomaterial. The example of the natural polymer are collagen, chitosan, gelatin, and alginate. These are the common examples. Other are examples, but these are the common examples which are used for making polymeric biomaterial. They are biodegradable. They means they are eco-friendly. They are biodegradable, non-toxic even. They are not toxic in nature. They are non-toxic, and their physical mechanical properties is similar to the tissue and capable of attachment to another tissue. Due to similar property, they can easily be implanted in our body. Collagen. They consist 3 intertwined protein chains. They process into variety formats such as making sheets, porous sponge, and gels. They are used in surgery, prosthetic implants, and drug delivery and tissue injury. This is collagen, 3 intertwined protein structure, and here this is used for making for tissue injury. This is used in tissue injury field. Chitosan and alginate. This is derived from the chitin and present in the hard exoskeleton of crab and shellfish. When these are the natural and they can be obtained from exoskeleton of crab and shellfish. They have minimum foreign body reactions. Yani they are bioinert in nature. They are biodegradable and used in engineering of cartilage, nerve, liver tissue, wounds dressing, and drug delivery devices. Yani they are used for delivery of drugs, any wound dressings. They are used in these areas. Similarly, the alginate is the polysaccharide, which is derived from brown seaweed. It is also natural. So it is derived from brown seaweed and used in liver, heart, cartilage, and different tissue engineering. Now the synthetic biomaterial. Synthetic biomaterial are used. Common synthetic biomaterials are polyurethane, Dacron, PMMA, and many more. Rather than polymer of biological origin, such as protein or polysaccharide. These are synthetic and they are synthesized in laboratory. Synthetic polymeric biomaterials are relatively simple because they have good property and are dependent on the chemical structure and macromolecular organization of polymer. What is the structure of polymer? Their property depends on the structure of that polymer, which is being used for making implant or which is being used in tissue engineering. From the biological perspective, packaging used in devices and substrate for implants must be composed of material that are bioinert, depending on the requirement. And these are biocompatible. This table shows the different polymer biomaterials which are used for making different implants and to cure the disease in different areas. For example, in the dental field, in the dentistry, the polymer biomaterial which is used is PMMA. I have mentioned PMMA in the history. They are being used from ancient time to in 19th century, from 19th century. So dental for making dental implant, polymethyl methacrylate or PMMA is used. Similarly, in cardiovascular area, polyethylene, polypropylene, polyamides are used for making pacemakers, artificial blood vessels, and mechanical heart valves. These metallic biomaterials are also used for making these implants. Similarly, polymer biomaterial are also used for making these plants. They have some good property, so they are used for making different implants for different in different areas. Similarly, for ear, nose, and throat, silicon is used. Silicon, polydimethyl siloxane, polyethylene is used for making cochlear implants, nasal implants, steps implants. These are used for making these devices, these implants. In gynecology, polyurethane is used. Similarly, silicon and polypropylene is also used for making implant fetal micro pacemaker. In plastic surgery, they are also used in plastic surgery. Silicons, polypropylene, PDMS is also used for the making implants of cheeks, jaw, lips, chin, and other implants. Polyethylene component may be treated to reduce osteolysis. Porous high-density polyethylene showed good biocompatibility, good elasticity, and strong anti-infective properties. And they are used in the material for rhinoplasty surgery. Polyethylene is available in 5 major grades. Very low density, linear low density, high density, and ultra high molecular weight. The first 4 grades are used in medical for making pharmaceutical bottles, non-woven fabrics, flexible tubing for making pouches and bags. Polyethylene is used for making many medical devices, medical equipments, medical other material which is being used in medical field. They have extraordinary load-bearing capacity as well as low friction and high durability. And extensively for the orthopedic implant fabrication, especially for knee and hip joint prosthesis. They are used in the hip for making hip implants or knee implants. Surgical implants are manufactured from the linear high density polyethylene. They are widely used for making hip implants, knee implants, and other implants because they have good wear strength. Due to their specific characteristics, such as wide range of biodegradation rate, high porosity, they are porous. They are also porous in nature. They have different pore size and high surface to volume ratio, polymeric scaffold attract the great interest. Due to this property, they are used for making many scaffold or implants. The main advantage of polymeric biomaterial compared to metal or the third class, that is ceramic biomaterial, are the ease of manufacturability. They are easily moldable. They are easily we can synthesize easily then, and we can shape them easily. There are ease of secondary processability. They are easily processable and they are reasonable in cost and easily available. And they have good mechanical and physical property also. This figure shows polymeric biomaterial is used for making different implants. For example, in this figure, we show this is it is made up of metallic biomaterial. This is also metallic biomaterial. This is also metallic biomaterial. But this part, complete part is this. So this part is made up of polyethylene. This is made up of synthetic biomaterial. Similarly, this figure shows acetotubular component of the hip replacement. So these are the metallic biomaterial. This is also metallic biomaterial. And this part is used in this implant is made up of polymeric biomaterial. And this is the ultra high molecular weight polyethylene. This table shows the properties of the polymeric biomaterial. From this table, it has been found that they have good yield modulus and tensile strength. For example, for polyethylene, the yield modulus is 0.88 gigapascal and tensile strength is 35. Similarly, for example, for silicon rubber, it is 0.008 and 7.6. These are they have good yield strength and tensile strength. Polymethyl methacrylate, that is PMMA. It belongs to the family of acrylates. It is glassy and has exceptional light transparency. It has high refractive index as well as good chemical, optical, and mechanical properties and good biocompatibility. It is used broadly in the biomedical application, such as for making ocular lenses, dentures, bone cement, fixation of hip and knee prosthesis, in blood pumping devices, in the membrane of blood dialyzers, they are used. The US Food and Drug Administration, that is FDA, has expressed concern the use of polymethyl methacrylate as the bone cement in the spine. They are used in the surgery of spine. And they are biocompatible to that organ. They are also used for making contact lenses and intraocular lenses. This is the picture of intraocular lens. And here, this is the intraocular implant shows in this figure. As I have mentioned earlier that they are using for injury in spine for making implants in which are used in spine injury, which is known as bone cement. So this is the vertebral augmentation. The steps are this: suppose there is some fracture in our spine, then there is an insertion of expandable device under the image guidance. So this device is injected into that part. There is some chemical or there is some PMMA biomaterial in it, balloon expanded and injected. Biomaterial is injected in this part. So here we can see in the last picture, cement injected into the space plate. After few days or after few months, it repairs. This part is the fracture which is found in the first image. So this will recover. Another polymer biomaterial, synthetic polymer biomaterial is polyurethane. As we know, polyurethane is thermoplastic elastomer. It has high resistance to abrasion, tear, and fatigue, good biocompatibility, and they accept the degree of resistance to degradation in the biological environment. They show good potential when incorporated with the PDMs. Polydimethyl silicon, it is a variety of silicon for use in implants because it is good surface and thermomechanical and biocompatible properties. Any polyurethane is also biocompatible and it has good mechanical and other properties. It is also used in vascular prosthesis. Intra-aortic balloon for making pacemaker. Lead insulation for making cardiac valve, wound dressing, etc. This figure shows the cardiac valve, which is made up of polyurethane. Any polyurethane is used for making this cardiac valve. And this is used in our heart and brain. Another class of synthetic polymer biomaterial is the silicon. The main use of the silicon in the cosmetic area, in cosmetic surgery. They are also used in dental, eye, ear prosthesis, and they are the material to aid the healing of damaged skin and in the extended wear contact lenses. They have also excellent biocompatibility. They are flexible because as we know that polymers are flexible in nature. They easily adapt any shape. They are resistant. They are corrosion resistant. They are resistant to degradation, and it has oxygen permeability also. Silicone implants have been used in laryngeal surgeries to overcome issues such as unilateral vocal fold paralysis or cause incomplete glottic closure. If other biomaterial, other drugs or other surgery is used in this field, then it has been found they cause paralysis, glottic closure, but silicone does not cause these type of problem. Two derivatives of silicone that are commonly used in biomedical implants are the perilene C or perilene, and polydimethyl siloxane in PDMs. Perilene is commonly used as a packaging material in the implanted neural prosthesis. Perilene C is the most commonly used implant. It is used as packaging material for long-term implantable electronic devices, intraocular, micro, actuators, etc. Another common silicon derivative is the PDMS, that is polydimethyl siloxane. It has been used for making pacemakers, blood pumps, memory prostheses, catheters, shunts, cochlear implants, esophagus replacement, and packaging material. They are used for in different for making implants in different part of our body for living organisms, and also used for making devices. This picture shows that they are used for different purpose, or they are used for making implants in variety of ways, because they are anti-corrosive, biocompatible, antibacterial, and therapeutic in nature. This is the device which is made up of perilene and perilene or PDMS, and this is used as implant. The class of the last biomaterial is third last biomaterial is ceramic and glass biomaterials. This is the third class of the biomaterial on the basis of application. It is ceramic and glass biomaterial. This class of ceramic used to repair and replacement of damaged part of musculoskeletal system. And this is also known as bioceramics. So ceramics have become increasingly important as biomaterial due to their biocompatibility, high resistance to corrosion and compression, non-toxicity, non-inflammatory, and low thermal and electrical conductivity. So these are used, and these are also used for making implants. Ceramics are the inorganic solid material consisting of metallic and non-metallic elements that are predominantly bonded together with ionic bond. They exist as both crystalline as well as for amorphous compound. This table shows the different ceramic biomaterial which are used for making implants. For example, inert alumina, zirconia, carbon, graphite, bioactive hydroxyapatite, and bioglasses, and many more other examples which are not mentioned in this table. So these are the ceramic biomaterial. And from this table, it has been found that they also have good or permissible mechanical properties such as Young modulus, compressive strength, bond strength, hardness, and density. So this table shows the properties of different bioceramic biomaterial. Similarly, this table shows the application and which type of bioceramic material these are on the basis of tissue response and the method from which by which they can be synthesized. Just for example, aluminium oxide. Alumina is bioinert, means it is good. And it is used for making very implants because it is bioinert and it does not harm to our body or surrounding part of the body. This is made up from the fabrication method is used for making these bioceramic is the binder jetting or wet polymerization, and these are used in various field of to cure the disease in various field of science, medical science. Similarly, zirconium oxide, hydroxyapatite is also it is bioinert, and hydroxyapatite is bioactive in nature. Zirconium oxide is prepared by using power bed fusion method, and they are used in dentistry. Hydroxyapatite, bioglass, and calcium synthase. These are bioactive in nature. The fabrication method used for their synthesis is mentioned in these tables, and they are used for tissue engineering, bone tissue engineering, and other tissue engineering. They are used for making implants in this field. Similarly, tricalcium phosphate is bioactive and biodegradable. And the fabrication method used for making these biomaterial is the wet polymerization, binder jetting method, and etc. These are also used in bone tissue engineering. Ceramic used in fabricating implants can be classified as non-absorbable, means these are inert, as well as bioactive or surface reactive, means semi-inert, and biodegradable and resolvable, means non-inert. Alumina, zirconia, silicon, nitrides, carbon, these are the bioceramics. As I have mentioned, all these named in the previous table. Certain glass ceramics, dense hydroxyapatites, calcium phosphate, calcium aluminate, these are also used for making ceramic biomaterial, and they are resorbable ceramic. Yani they dissolve after few time of implantation. Means they are least harmful. Alumina is the ceramic biomaterial, biomaterial. It has good hardness, high abrasion resistance, good corrosion resistance, low wear and tear, and no cytotoxicity. Means these are non-toxic and easily implanted in bone marrow. Due to chemical inertness of alumina, increase its application in hard tissue engineering in dental and bone implant. This is the bone implant, dental implants, and alumina is used for making this implant. In previous slide, we have shown that metallic biomaterial, some other polymeric biomaterial are also used for making implant. So due to they are non-toxic, they are easily moldable, easily shapeable, they are use and availability. It also depends upon the availability of the raw material which is used for making bioceramic, alumina bioceramic. These are the other example of bioceramic material, bioceramic biomaterial. For example, this is the polythene which is used for making acetobutyl cup. This picture shows the acetobutyl cup which is made up of ceramic biomaterial. Similarly, alumina, zirconia bioceramics are used for making hip joint prosthesis and in dentistry. So these are the example, and these are the, we have seen the braces which are used in dentistry are also made up of bioceramic. Initially, we have seen only the metallic biomaterial is used for making braces, but nowadays there is another option of another option in this field. That is, these bioceramics are also used for making braces and other implants in the dentistry. Zirconia is also the bioceramic biomaterial. It is well known because it has good high strength, hardness, cracking, and corrosion resistance, and it is recognized as bioinert. It is bioinert in nature. They have several advantages over other ceramic material due to the transformation, toughening, mechanism, operation in their microstructures that can be manifested in the component made out of them. It is used in orthopedic, especially for the total hip and knee orthoplasty and dental repair replacement. It has the advantage of being colored to match the shade of any existing teeth. They can be colored, so they are good in looking also. So they are also used in dentistry. Other bioceramic biomaterial are the bioglass and glass ceramic. Bioactive glasses and glass ceramic have good application in the tissue engineering field. They are used in orthopedic, dental field, and they are dense and porous form. They are available in the dense as well as in porous form. They have unique property with ability to bond to the both hard and soft tissue. So these are very important in tissue engineering. And they converting into amorphous calcium phosphate or hydroxyapatite material after implantation. If they are crystalline in nature, after implantation, they convert it into amorphous material. They are adjustable. They are adjustable in nature, or we can say that they are biocompatible. Besides silicate glass, phosphate-based and borate-based glasses are also used for making different biomedical devices or for making different implants. Phosphate bioactive glasses in the medium of sodium, calcium, phosphorus oxide system have faster dissolution in aqueous fluids than that of silica glass. So they are useful in healing of chronic wounds. They are easily dissolved in this medium, and so they are used for making for handling or healing the chronic wounds. Borate glasses have also been used as drug release system in the treatment of bone infection. Glass ceramic are crystallized glass resulted from the thermal treatment of its parent glass with superior strength and toughness, elastic modulus, and wear state. It means they have good chemical, physical, as well as mechanical properties. Bone repair and regeneration. These glass are used in this field also. This picture shows that they are used for in dentistry. These are the bioglass and which are porous in nature, which are easily biocompatible in the part of the injured body. This figure shows the bioactive glass and glass ceramic for biomedical application and porous robocast bioglass used in bone repair and regeneration. This is porous in nature. This is also porous as well as they are used as sheet for making implant. It is important to note, I mentioned that if these are porous in nature, when they are applied as an implant into our body, the surrounding bone tissues or other tissues easily grow in these pores and easily adjustable. It is biocompatible in that part. It bind with, due to its porosity, it bind with the surrounding tissue easily. The another class is calcium phosphate ceramics in the class of bioceramic biomaterial. Calcium phosphate ceramics are of special interest because they are also good chemical, physical, and mechanical property. And they are closer resemblance with the inorganic part of the major normal and pathological calcified tissue of the mammals. They resemble the part of our body. So they are easily adjust in that part. They have good properties such as biocompatibility. These are biocompatible, osteo. And these are for making some screws and from other part for making. Okay, now I continue with my presentation. The calcium phosphate, there are variety of calcium phosphates are found in the bioceramic biomaterial class. That is monocalcium phosphate, monohydrate, dicalcium phosphate, monohydrate, dihydrate, calcium deficient hydroxyapatite, and beta tricalcium phosphates. A- Am I audible to you all? Gayatri ma'am, am I audible? चैट बॉक्स मेरा अभी 2 मिनट में हुआ, अभी जब देखा देख चैट बॉक्स। हाँ मैम, am I audible? गायत्री मैम, हाँ गायत्री मैम, am I audible? I think there is some network issue from my side.
Yes,
Am I
ma'am.
audible?
Clearly audible. आप.
And my screen is visible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Clearly.
हाँ.
No.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. व्यू में जाके बड़ा कर दे। Materials, ceramic biomaterial, which are used for making implants. Sorry for interruption. There is some network issue from my side. So my voice was not audible to all of you. Next slide कैसे जाऊँ? कह रही है दिख रही है बेटा। These are the various classes of calcium phosphate which are used in biomedical application. And this table shows the properties and formula and type of calcium phosphate. Now the last class of the biomaterial on the basis of their application, that is by composites biomaterial. A composite material may be defined by the material resulting from the combination of two or more material in order to obtain a material having properties greater than one of its singular constituent. Means they are used due to good properties because they are made up of a combination of two biomaterial. For example, metallic and polymeric biomedical, or it may be metallic or ceramic biomaterial. So these are known as biocomposite. As in the presentation of Dr. Bhojar, they told us about the biocomposites. Means they are synthesizing some biocomposite which are biodegradable or eco-friendly. So these are the same that sir has described in their presentation. Similarly, in the Rahul Garg sir, they described different sensors, biosensors, which are used. These are also biomaterial. A composite material is found by the base of material, matrix, and reinforcement. For example, polymer to which carbon fiber are added. Yani these composites are made up of polymer and carbon fibers. अब next slide नहीं आ रही है. फोन भी चलाओ. Now it is not possible to slideshow because there is some network issue. So I am describing my presentation. I am explaining my presentation in this manner. Composite material are, however, used extensively for making prosthetic limbs, where their combination of low density weight and high strength make them ideal material for such application. In biomaterials, it is important that each constituent of the composites are biocompatible. Means they are very good than other biomaterial in properties. Some application of the composite in the biomaterial application are dental filling composites, reinforced methyl methacrylate, bone cement, ultra high molecular weight polyethylene, and orthopedic implants with porous surfaces. These are the example of biocomposite which are used in making various implants. This picture shows for making implants, and this is made up of collagen and for hydroxyapatite, any the combination of two biomaterial. So due to this, the property is enhanced. As I have described, I have mentioned other hip joints or knee joints or other joints making implants. These are good than I have described in previous slide, which are made up of pure metallic or polymeric biomaterial. These are made up of combination of two biomaterial. So due to this, their properties are enhanced. These are other biomaterial which are making for some vessels, some heart valve, some pacemakers and stunt, etc. Now conclusion. Biomaterial have been used very successfully within the human body by repairing and regenerating bone faster. That would not restore by other means. These are commonly used in dental surgery, in orthopedic surgery, and in tissue engineering and many more branches. Ongoing research involves the chemistry composition, micro and nanostructure of the material to improve the mechanical integrity of the biomaterial upon implantation. Yani it's a study is going on in this field. Thus, the purpose of this presentation is to highlight the information available on the various biomaterial as well as to highlight their application. Yani I have described the brief as various aspects in brief in this presentation. The important area of future research are synthesis of immunomodulating biomaterial, injectable biomaterial, and supramolecular biomaterial. These biomaterial are far better than I have mentioned in this slide because they have the potential to both sense and respond. And they are the new material in the field of biomaterial science. These are some paper which we have published in some conference proceeding, which is based upon biomaterial. And this paper is very helpful for understanding the biomaterial and their application in medical field. These are these paper. And now, because I'm the nature loving and other family member, female family faculty member also nature loving. So because the topic of my this program is sustainable development. So I want to show you that drip irrigation technique is used in our college campus, which is because our Bikaner is the water table is very low and it comes in the zone water scarcity zone. So this type of techniques are also, we are also using this type of technique in our campus. However, it is not correlated with the biomaterial, but it is correlated with the sustainable development. Now, thanks for your patience. And however, there are some technical interruption during this presentation. So thank you for your patience. Thank you, everyone. Feedback, there is only one feedback link today, yeah, which is final feedback link, which will be shared after the valedictory ceremony. And all other 4 feedback link of previous days are also shared in the chat box. But the today's feedback link, which is based on quiz and some feedback about our speakers, is the final feedback link. So you have all of you, your presence is mandatory in last in valedictory ceremony so that you can fill the you can uh, uh, means final and quiz जो quiz form है और feedback link will be shared in only in the chat box of this webex link webex meeting. So please join us in valedictory session, and thank you everyone for your patience. Okay, now I am closing the last session of this FDP, and we will meet at 2:30 in the valedictory ceremony. 2:30 to 3 p.m. there is valedictory ceremony, and after that we have feedback and quiz session.